right, Loy Machedo speaking to you from LoyMachedo.com. Who's Loy Machedo? Think Personal Branding. Okay, let me ask you one thing, okay? Imagine a YouTube channel, which is having, let me give you the stats, 6.14 million subscribers, okay? 2.91 million followers for their podcast, and 1.99 million on various social media. They have a total views of more than 1.5 billion. Billion, huh? Okay. So imagine if a YouTuber who has billions of views and millions of followers, they get suspended. Now, wouldn't that be shocking to you? Well, I don't know about you, but for me, that is like, what? See, right now the time is 5:22 in the morning. Okay. Its date is 22/10/22. Oh, okay. 22nd October 22. Okay, fine. Good. It's a good, nice date. Okay. There are people who are crazy about numbers. Some people like to get married at such a. One of my friends is getting married at 22/11/22 because they can't be a 22 month. Anyway, that's beside the point. So, okay. So now I'm not giving you just opinion or gossip. This is from news. I'll be reading out the news and links up or down below. Okay. So the channel that I'm speaking about is H3H3 Productions. Now, H3H3 Productions is hosted by Ethan Klein and Hila Klein, a Israeli American husband and wife duo. Their content is mainly reaction videos, sketchy comedies, and internet culture. Okay. So now, my experience with H3H3 is many years ago when I was just getting to know the internet and improve on my coaching career and all that. And I saw Thai Lopez's famous ad, and I was not sure whether this guy is good or not. Here in my garage, those videos. So I was trying to find out whether this guy is a scam, and H3H3 Productions made a funny video about him. And I liked him. He made a really funny video, and I thought he was intelligent, he was smart, and it had purpose. In fact, that video of his is absolutely viral. So I didn't subscribe to his channel, but I realized this guy is intelligent. So, life goes on, and you go on with your career and life. And later on, to my shock and surprise, the same guy, H3H3 Productions, who was a person who had the courage and the guts to call out scammers and fake gurus and all that. I saw another video of him where he went to meet Thai Lopez, the same internet, some call him a scammer, some call him a hype, whatever. Thai Lopez, here in my garage, is very famous. You should Google search if you don't know. He went to not only meet him, but now he was praising him. So I couldn't understand, like, this guy who once upon a time was calling out on scammers, now is actually praising scammers. This is after a period of time. And that is where, on further research, obviously you research a lot, I found that this guy, where once upon a time his brand was calling out on calling out on people who are these, conservative types who talk all nonsense and rubbish, who are these woke culture, woke people. He would criticize them. Now he has become part of the mob. That to me was a shocker. And why I was shocked is because just imagine you start your career path from zero and you reach up to millions and you hold on to your brand, your values. But once you achieve your millions, now all of a sudden you flip the switch. You move over to supporting those very people who you hated, whose values you didn't align with. And one of the reasons, obviously, internet, people talk, and they said it was very simple. He wanted to take advantage of the sponsors of the brands. And he's very rich, mind you. He's very, very rich. I do not know what is his net worth. Let me just Google search and tell you. Net worth. Okay, his net worth must be millions. He is estimated around roughly 20 million US dollars. Okay, that's what they say. But I think that's a very lower estimate because he has not only purchased his house, he's doing very well. He started off from nothing. Okay, so, for me, whether I like your opinion or I don't like your opinion, whether I like your channel or not, we call a spade a spade. He is successful, kudos to him. But I did not like the fact that once upon a time he stood for something that was against the woke culture, where people were hypersensitive, and now you're speaking for them. In fact, he even brought in Jordan Peterson to conduct an interview, fair and square. And then later on, he actually pulled down his interview after a few months or something, saying he's a very dangerous person. And Jordan Peterson was very upset. They were supposed to be good friends. So, okay, anyway, that was the story of H3H3 as per my experience. But now, why did he get suspended is a very big question. Okay. You can, there are two articles which I read. One is DEXERTO.com, and another one is JerusalemPost.com. Okay. Now, Ethan Klein, as per DEXERTO.com, it says Ethan Klein claims white supremacists are to blame for his YouTube ban. Okay. So, Ethan Klein of H3H3 Productions has been handed a 1-week suspension on YouTube and has blamed white supremacists for successfully lobbying the platform to earn him his ban for anti-Semitism. Okay. See, I'll give you my thoughts. See, you know, I know there is so much of debate and discussion about free speech. Everyone wants free speech today. However, what I've realized, this is my opinion, you can tell me if I'm wrong or right. What I've realized today, free speech has become like a double-edged sword. Almost every single human being wants free speech. Now, in my case, I have come from the Middle East. I'm an Indian passport holder, was born and raised in the Middle East. You could say roughly raised, but I say born and raised. Okay. Now, over there, being an expat, being an immigrant, being a foreigner, and you're never given citizenship in the Middle East, there are limits to what you can say and can't say. So I was born and raised in an environment where you were not given so much of freedom where you could criticize the hand that feeds you, especially like you can't criticize Islam, you can't criticize Dubai. So I learned and I experienced that culture. Now, obviously, from there, I saw India a little bit. Even though I'm an Indian passport holder, I've been to India just a little bit, but I didn't stay there because there also I realized, okay, it's a democracy, but there people might take, the law in their hands if you say something that upsets the majority. Okay. So, especially, and you know what I'm talking about. If you upset a powerful person or very powerful political group, they can really take the law in your hands. So, finally, I came down to Thailand. I settled down in Thailand after 40. Here also, yes, there is a freedom of speech and all that, but there are rules. So, I have lived my life where freedom of speech is allowed, but a heavy degree of accountability. Okay, that's my experience. So now YouTube, even though it's based in the United States, land of the free, home of the brave, Twitter and Facebook, they have certain boundaries which you cannot cross. And for you could say the Jewish lobby or the Jews are very powerful in USA. So they may allow you to speak against, let's say, Palestinians or whatever. I'm not saying, correct me if I'm wrong. This is not an official rule book, but you can criticize, let's say, for example, you can criticize the wrong Palestinians are doing or the wrong Muslims are doing as per news. However, when it comes to Jews, okay, what you can say, what you can't say, there are a lot of rules and restrictions. Okay. Now, that does not mean if something is in the news, Israel does something, you can't speak about it. However, if you start speaking about, let's say, the Jewish Holocaust, or you start speaking about events that are very close to the heart of the Jewish people, then there would be repercussions. Like what happened with Kanye West. He gave some remarks or something he must have said. I'm not very much into Kanye West. He likes to be the center of controversy. So he put White Lives Matter, which I'm okay with because I believe all lives matter. So people are putting Black Lives Matter. He put White Lives Matter. And that became major scandal. But then he said something about Jews, and now brands are actually pulling away from him. Okay. So now this guy, he made a joke about Jews, which was supposed to be a joke, but it fell flat. And what did he say? See, and mind you, he's Jewish himself. Huh? So Ethan Klein, who's Jewish himself, has had frequent disagreements with names all across the internet, especially when stepping into political grounds and discussing global societal issues. During an episode of his leftover podcast with Twitch streamer Hasan HasanAbi Piker, Klein said, hope Ben Shapiro is a political commentator, is someone who's incredibly smart, someone I admire. I may not agree with all his views, but I definitely admire the guy. From the age of 17, he has been as a public figure. Just imagine, let that sink in. His brain works like razor sharp, like laser. He is a graduate from Harvard. He's brilliant mind, okay? But I don't agree with all his views. He has views about abortion. He has views about guns. He feels guns should be allowed. Abortion is murder. So there are areas where I don't agree with him, but I still think he's great. Okay. So what he say? What this guy H3H3 Productions said? Hope Ben Shapiro gets gassed first. In the Jewish Holocaust, they gassed, poison gas, and killed millions, which is anyone, good, bad, ugly. You do something like that, it's not acceptable. So he said, hope Ben Shapiro gets gassed first if there will be another Holocaust later. And then he claimed that this was a joke against the Daily Wire. Now, me personally, when you say a joke or try to put a humorous line, some things you can say, some things you can't say. Would it be funny if you say, I hope this guy gets killed? When you're a public figure and you say, I hope this guy gets killed, any guy or girl, I mean, that can be really taken out of context. Just imagine you're saying, should be killed. Let's imagine there is a psychotic person who's following you, someone who really wants to cause harm. And he said, oh, he should be killed. You don't know how people's brains are. So you have to be very careful when you say these words, even, for example, okay, when we are talking, yeah, man, I hope that guy dies. Yeah. I'm talking to a friend. That's different. But on a public platform, when you say something like this, it's like even rape. People joke about rape sometimes. They say, hey, man, she looks like she's dying to get raped. You might talk to your buddy. But the minute you say this on a public platform, I mean, just imagine if there is a young girl who got raped and she admires you, it can break her heart. So there are some things which you cannot joke about, and you need to have personal responsibility, especially on a public platform. So here what happens is, after mass appeal from shocked viewers, Klein was handed 1 week suspension from the platform, and he took to Twitter to voice his frustrations. And what he said here is, a few white supremacists successfully lobbied YouTube to suspend me, a Jewish dual citizen for Israel and USA, for anti-Semitism, he said. Ben Shapiro and friend can virtue signal all they want, but ultimately they are the ones platforming dangerous anti-Semites. All I did was point that out. I disagree with his point of view because he's not taking personal responsibility of saying something that was really inappropriate. Okay. Then he continued, these people reporting me accepting uh, accepting Ben are tiki torch carrying white Christian nationalists. They don't give a fuck about anti Semitism or Jewish people. They revel in the fact that YouTube and other institutions are so quick to act on bad faith and malicious outrage. They're currently the greatest beneficiaries of cancel culture, identity politics, and moral outrage. It's incredible they've become a party of free speech while decrying the lobbying of my deplatforming. No, Ben Shapiro has not wished for him to be deplatformed. And Ben Shapiro, tweeted, he said, I don't believe Ethan Klein should be suspended from YouTube for his awful garbage, but I shed no tears for a person who's routinely engaged in cancellation of others, world's smallest violin. So, see, what is my view? What is my view? And by the way, just so that Ethan Klein is not sorry. He's going to continue his podcast and is going to continue playing, whatever stuff that he shares. So what do I feel? See, look, you have this guy, what's his name? Andrew Tate. Yeah, Andrew Tate, and he got suspended. Then you have, people like Kanye West, they're getting cancelled. Now this guy got suspended. My take on the matter is there are rules to be followed. Not everyone likes all the rules. In India, when you're there are some rules which are acceptable, some which are not. You're in Pakistan, rules. You like, you don't like. Saudi, like, don't like. Every country in this world, every organization, every institution has yes and no. You can't use those platforms or be in that country or work for that organization and cherry pick what you like because you believe in free whatever. I know. In a perfect world, we can say whatever we want, we can do whatever we want, and everyone's happy. But that's not how life operates, right? Like, let me just conclude by giving you a simple example. My house. In my house, I have my rules. My wife has to follow certain protocols. My child has to follow certain protocols. There are a lot of people out there who say, Law, you're a dictator, you're a tyrant, you wanted a maid, you wanted a slave, I pity your child. Fine, whatever. Here's the thing, I've never held my wife or kid and say, you must stay here. They're free to leave. But they do not earn. My wife and my kid don't earn. They don't have any skill to survive in the real world. They want a certain standard of living. So even if I'm a monster, they chose to be with me. They chose. Now, I've told them you can leave, and I've even told the community or the people who bash me up, you get in touch with her. It's very easy through online. Get in touch with them and agree to sponsor them, take care of them, pay their bills and expenses. Tell them, would you like me to offer you a better life away from this evil monster? Well, no, absolutely not. Because she knows the life that I'm giving her, she'll never get from anybody else. Yes, I'm not perfect, but when you take the cost-benefit ratio, she is enjoying the life of her dreams that she would never have. So, my house, my rules. It's as simple as that. Every parent has my house, my rules. And that's how children have to be raised. You can't have things go your way. And let me tell you one final thing. There are a lot of dumb fucking idiots out there who really should be banned, should not be given freedom of speech. Yes, I'm aware of the fact that Andrew Tate got banned, but these other females who are showing their body, their boobs, who are doing porn, and they are getting a platform. Life was never meant to be fair, my friend. For me personally, I don't see anything Andrew Tate is doing as dangerous, but to, to gullible young children, they will cherry pick things out of context, and that can really hurt and harm their career. And he's not focusing on their career. He's just focusing on mindset, giving a lot of loose talk and making it controversial so that he knows controversy sells at the end of the day. And he's not, you need to match, your words have to match your character, which doesn't seem to be the case, at least when you really look into his life. Anyway, these are my views. Let me know what are yours. I love to know. But remember one thing, also as a important disclaimer, if you put any anti-Semitic, anti-Jew statements down, you will be suspended by YouTube. This is their rules, and you need to respect it. That's as far as it goes. So good, bad, ugly, let me know your thoughts while following the rules. I would love to hear from you. This is me signing off. You guys take care.